Hi guys, welcome back to Mary Beth Dwells in Books. I'm Mary Beth, and today I'm going to be doing my August wrap-up. I know that the month isn't ended yet, but I'm currently reading The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, and I know that I won't finish that by the end of the month, so I wanted to get this up before I forgot and before work gets extremely hectic, and, I can't upload the video because I'm trying to be better about that. Anyway, I read 5 books this month, and it started with Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and I was actually really surprised because I gave this 5 out of 5 stars because Get a Life, Chloe Brown was just an okay book for me. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't really get attached to Red and Chloe like everyone else did, but I absolutely loved Dani and Zafir. Like, yes, my only complaint just in general for Talia Hibbert books are the over-sexualization like thoughts. So if you aren't a person that really likes sexy times, like it's not even the sex in general, it's just like the characters are constantly thinking of each other in a sexual manner, so that can definitely like deter people, and I can't blame them because it was really annoying, and I'm just like, okay, like I'm all about the sexy times in romances, but it's just too much when that's what you're constantly thinking of the other person as. Like I mean, the Zafir was very sweet and Dani was very good, and like they have other moments. I just wish that would have been expanded on, I guess, instead of like always like I want to bang you on the table and like stuff like that, because he has like one of my favorite scenes was when she fell asleep at the library because she's studying for her PhD. I want to say she's studying for her PhD. um wow, I act like I didn't even read the book. Anyway, we're just gonna ignore that. But anywho, and he brings her like lunch. Like that was such a sweet moment, and they actually had a really good like conversation and stuff like that. And we're fooling around, like not like that, but like just being goofy and stuff like that. I really I liked that, and I wish that there were more moments like that sprinkled in. I appreciated that a lot. But yeah. Then from there, I had a DNF. It was I Kissed Alice by Anna Birch, and oh my gosh, I got 100 pages into that book, and I don't even know how I made it that far into the book, even though it wasn't long at all. It was only like 300 something, like just barely 300 pages. Listen, that book was awful. Like, I have no hate whatsoever towards straight people writing female relationships, but this one you could just tell that it was by a straight woman, like that had like some weird like fantasy in her head. It was so bad. The characters were so whiny, and you could tell that they were in high school, like, but you would assume them more so like freshmen, not seniors about to graduate. Like, they were awful, and they were awful to each other. I don't understand how anybody ships them. Like, if you ship them, it's fine, obviously you're allowed to have your own opinion, but like I don't understand how you got to that point, because they were so awful to each other, and not only just to each other but to the people around them. Like, the two main characters have a mutual friend, what is her name? Sarah, I want to say. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And like they treat her horribly. Like, oh my gosh, and she's like one of the sweetest people ever. And like I don't even think she knows it, and it just breaks my heart because she deserved so much better. Like, I don't. And also, there's a fan fiction element into the story, and it was with the Queen of Hearts and Alice from Alice in Wonderland. And now, granted, I might have bias because I don't really care for Alice in Wonderland that much, but I read Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and I loved that book. But oh my god, the fan fiction was super sexualized, and I'm like, I don't understand like how you even ship the two of them. Like, ew. Like, again, if you ship them, it's fine, but like, ooh, it was just a weird pairing, and that was super sexualized, like I said, and it was just like, no. So I ended up DNFing that, and that seems to be the case for a lot of people, so I don't feel so bad. But I don't know how that got published. Like, I'm not trying to be mean because I can't write to save my life, but it was just, no, absolutely not. This is not happening, no. And then from there, I read Aru Shah and the End of Time by Roshani Chokshi, and it was amazing. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It is the start to a Hindu / Indian retelling. It has the gods and goddesses of that religion involved in the story, and it is amazing. The girl friendship in that is amazing. Like, yes, we stand. And they have amazing animal. Well, they have one amazing animal sidekicks, but like there's other like animals that come in later on in the book, but they don't like stick around. But Boo, he's a pigeon, and I love him, and I want him to be my like little. I don't want to say pet. I want him to be my like little guardian. I love him so much. And it's a really great start to a middle grade series. I absolutely love it, and I'm very excited about the rest of the series. And then from there, I read Dear Martin by Nick Stone, and it was okay. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I only didn't give it a 5 out of 5 stars because the emotional impact was amazing. Like, the emotional side of it is a 5 out of 5 stars, but from the pacing of the story, I didn't really get behind, so I couldn't give it a 5 out of 5 stars because the main character writes letters to Martin Luther King Jr., and while that was a good aspect, it just felt like weird where she put it throughout the stories. Like, it wasn't cohesive. So you would be in the middle of like a paragraph, and then the next sentence would be like him writing to Martin Luther King Jr., and I was like, what is happening? But if you were just getting into the Black Lives Matter movement, or if you want to learn more about it, like, it doesn't necessarily deal with Black Lives Matter, but it has to deal with the police brutality. I can't say what happens because the thing that happens that creates that moment, it is a spoiler, but yeah, but I would put it under a Black Lives Matter collection. There we go. Wow, my brain did not want to think of the word, but it was absolutely awesome. I would recommend it. Besides the pacing, it was great, and there's a lot of cute stuff that happens besides, obviously the horrible things such as racism and police brutality and murder and all of that jazz. But yeah, and very good discussions within the book. And he's a part of the debate team at his high school, and it's really good. I definitely recommend it. And then from there, I read Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I am oh my gosh, I'm such a stan for her. I understand why everybody and their mother like raves about her. This one is written in verse, just like the Poet X is, and it's about a real life flight that happened a couple months after 9/11, with people going to the Dominican Republic, and the plane crashed. I want to say in New York. And it was awful to read about in that aspect. But it's about two sisters that didn't know that they were sisters because the dad was leading a double life, and they didn't ever interact. But oh my gosh, this book has so much heart to it. I loved it, and because it's written in verse, it flew by really fast, and it didn't even feel like I was reading. Like, it was just so freaking good, and I cannot wait to read her other 2 works. I'm not as excited for With the Fire on Fire, just because I'm not a big fan of reading about teen pregnancy, but I'm still excited to read it because it's Elizabeth Acevedo, and like I said, I'm a complete stan for her now, so we love that for me. Thriving with newfound authors that I'm loving, so yeah. And the last book that I read was Arusha and the Song of Death. And this one I gave a 4 out of 5 stars because the first 200 pages were harder to get through. Not because the book was bad, but there's a new, sister involved with Aru, and they didn't get along, which is fine. I mean, not everybody in their family is going to get along and, all that jazz. But I felt like the reasons for them not liking each other was just stupid. Like, I'm not like other girls. Like, I'm not like you. Like, it was just that kind of stupid, petty girl hate. And now, granted, obviously I realize that they're younger and they're not really thinking about it like that, but it was frustrating to read. But they come to a truce, and they end up getting along and all that stuff. But the addition to Bryn and Aiden, I love them, and I love where the story is expanding. So after the book that I'm reading now, if it doesn't emotionally devastate me, I'm planning to pick up the 3rd book, and then I have to wait for the 4th book to come out. But I'm really excited. I still really like the series, despite the first 200 pages of the 2nd book. I think it was just a 2nd book syndrome thing that she just put in there because they're younger and they don't really understand the importance of women sticking together. Not that they're stupid because they're younger or anything. I don't think that, but they're not really understanding, and they're fighting evil demon spirits and shit. So, you know, I mean, it's not on the forefront of their mind. But I'm excited to see where it goes. And also, there is bi rep, and I don't want to say non-binary, but they had the use of they them pronouns. So I'm not saying that it's for a certain character, because I'm not sure, but that was mentioned, which I really liked. And there was a thing of two moms being mentioned, which was awesome. And I was like, yes, like the message behind that part of the story was basically like, kids just want parents to love them, and it doesn't matter if it's two moms, two dads, a mom, a grandma, you know, whatever. So that was really nice. And I really liked the subtlety of Bryn saying about because they were all talking about boys or girls or whatever, like crushes and all that stuff, and she was saying boys, and then she said, or I like girls too, and I was like, oh my god, yes, exciting. So hopefully she you know, well, I mean, she's young. I was about to say I hope she gets a girlfriend, but hopefully if she's older by the time that the series ends, she can get her first love, and it's a girl. Although obviously there's nothing wrong with it if it's a boy, but yeah. But that concludes my wrap up for August, and I want to know what you guys have been reading and loving down in the comments below. Even if you hate something, leave it down below in the comments, and I look forward to making a new video for you guys soon. Bye!